kennenlernen dürfen. Total sympathisch. Ich drücke den Sportlern die Daumen, dass das ganz erfolgreich funktioniert.
Ja, du als Hauptamtler, als Geschäftsführer hier von der Arena in Winterberg kümmerst dich ja eben nicht nur um die Hauptamtler, sondern du und dein Team, ihr seid das Bindeglied genau zwischen... Aktuell arbeiten wir an einem größeren Investitionsprogramm hier in Zusammenarbeit mit der Bundesrepublik Deutschland im Land NRW und mit
nothing on the table. Nice into 15. Oh, it's very late.
Gute ist, dass ihr quasi der Schnurbob ist gestartet. Der Schnurbob ist gestartet. Ach Gott, es ist schon schön. Aber es wird ein grandioses
Medaillenspiegel und bei den Olympischen Spielen ist natürlich auch immer an.
Sven, fang da an. Du hast das Ganze erlebt. Damals auch, vor 20 Jahren, 2006. Für uns war das ein Riesenerfolg. Ich meine, gut, vierter Platz bei dir. Das ist natürlich eine große Chance, das ist natürlich auch ein Risiko, wenn du den Volksentscheid so reizt. Wegen Aufhandlerinnen und Aufhandlern haben, aber eben auch über den WSC sehr
Du hast die sogenannte Sauerländer. Jetzt ist der Spurt im Ziel. Wie gesagt, wenn der nächste startet, aber wir versuchen erstmal die Bayern einzufangen. Ich habe hier so bayerische Fahnen gesehen, die hier vorne bei den Hansi-Fans. Nein, das will ich gerne jetzt verwechseln. Aber Team Hansi noch, wie ist die Fans bei den Bayern? Sehr gut, nach dem Erfolg gestern kommen wir zu den Hessen. Wo sind die Hessen? Wie ist die Stimmung bei den Hessen hier? Aber da haben wir da natürlich auch. Also jetzt kommt es noch zu den Sachsen her für Also, wo sind die Fans von Frankfurt? Wie ist die Stimmung? Und international ist bei allen Gästen hier die Stimmung hier in Winterberg in der Frauen-Arena. Ja, also ist es angerichtet für einen zweiten Lauf, der sehr knapp beieinander liegt und mit Red Hall auf einen dritten Platz hat auf dem internationalen Feld. Was denkst du, wie wird es dann aussehen? Was erwartet uns im zweiten Lauf? Und hier
Race 5 of the IBSF Four-Man Bobsleigh World Cup season here in Winterberg in Germany. And with night fast approaching, it is time to get our second and deciding heat underway and round out a busy, snowy week here in Winterberg. So at the first of our two heats for the four-man, in third place, last year's winner, Brad Hall, with Leon Greenwood, Big T, Taylor Lawrence and Greg Cackett on the sled. They started fifth fastest and came down in third place, 12 hundredths of a second off the lead. Well, they have a great opportunity to take yet another four-man medal here. So too does Johannes Lochner. Lochner has plenty of medals on this track. 4 wins alone, and he is looking for his 100th World Cup medal here today. He's in second place, 900ths of gold. So yesterday's two-man winner trails the man who took bronze in the two-man, Francesco Friedrich, hunting for his 10th four-man win here alone in what is his 100th four-man World Cup race. He has a slender lead. It's not enough to go to sleep. And Friedrich never goes to sleep. So, Friedrich, Lochner, Hall, but don't count out Amor or Treichel or Follador, and maybe even Chris Horn with his epic starting. Patrick Baumgartner, who missed the cut yesterday, is in 8th. Maciej Bahenek, great drive from the Czech, into 10th, ahead of Lee Chun-jan and Kim Jin-soo. And Dave Esselink of the Netherlands, 14th. 20th place, Jakob Mandelbauer, making the cut by 100th ahead of Timo Röner, and he and the rest do not get a second heat. Well, there is Brad Hall's sled going through material control. Brad watching from the background as Graham Richardson helps out the IBSF officials. Just checking to make sure that those push bars retract properly. Meanwhile, everybody else working themselves down the track and warming up the bodies to make sure that mind and body are in perfect harmony. Mihai Tentea, what a great first run he had for Romania. Really big effort. And Tentea will look to try and improve on that again in the second heat. Mickey Vogt, Kim Jin-soo. There's an awful lot of drivers here who would like to try and creep up the order a fraction. We'll start with Jakob Mandelbauer of Austria. He was 20th in the first heat and will go 20 down to 1. The final sled will be Francesco Friedrich. Both runs count. Total elapsed time for the sled over the 2 trips decides your finishing position. So you can have one good trip and one bad one. Not great. One bad trip and one good one feels better, but 2 good trips, that's the ticket. Race 5, IBSF four-man bobsleigh World Cup in Winterberg in Germany. 20th after the first heat, Jakob Mandelbauer of Austria gets us back underway. Dan Nichols-Bardi, Sebastian Mitra and Daniel Berchler helped Jakob to a 5:16, 10th fastest push in the first heat. They go 5:21. Little tap off the wall out of the zero curve. So losing a little bit at the start. I noticed in the gap between the 2 runs that the wind is starting to bluster around again. It's not got snow in it, so it's hard to see. It may well be that they've just caught a little bit of the breeze. Swooping down through 5. Little late flop off 6 into the Kreisel. Fraction late exit into 8. Down through corner 9. Get this exit tidy. Skate past corner 10 straight onto 11. And then 12. Then 13. The exit into 14 is pretty decent from Mandelbauer. 135 Ks, 84 miles an hour plus, and a 55.20. Not as quick as his first heat, but he won't drop out of the top 20. So in the centre of the shot there, you saw Benny Meyer, the last man to take a medal for Austria on this track. He, with Sascha Stepan, Christian Huber and Marcus Sammer, took a bronze medal. 2 consecutive races, actually, here in the bronzes. Got one more Austrian sled to come. They escape all the way past corner 10 if you have a lucky enough slide out of 9. Low in 11 at the midpoint. Climbs, and he'll come out a fraction late as a result. And then 12-13, little rocky there as well. All right, so Mandelbauer down and done, both heats in, and a top 20 finish. Next up, Martin Krantz of Liechtenstein. Krantz in only his 10th World Cup start, his first on this track. Raced in the World Championships 2 years ago, finished in 20th place, so we're in personal best territory at the moment, and he had an untidy first heat. Only a 5:25 start, but they get in, get down. 5:31 again. We might be seeing some wind-affected starts. But he made just about every error in the book on the first heat. If he tidies that up, they will outdrive that start. Again, from 900s behind Mandelbauer to 700s back. Little skid 4 to 5, going uphill there through 4. 100th back, better speed than the Austrian. Now his advantage over Mandelbauer was a single 100th of a second from the first heat. Better speed again, 800s up. I really rate Krantz as one of our coming talents, the young driver. It'll be interesting to see in the next 4 years just how far he can progress. Good speed across the line, 1200s up, 55.09. Well, close to their first heat of 55.06, off a slightly slower start. But that was a tidier drive from Martin Krantz. Had a good run yesterday to finish tied for 15th in the two-man race. Heinz try. See, the German, the British Army equivalent is 2.6. I don't understand that either. In and down. Nice load. Nice and quiet for the driver. And there, just a little high in 4. He came on a fraction to his left. Just rode it a bit too much. Down the back, you see David Scherfen been caught by the wind. But Martin Krantz of Liechtenstein, well, they'll drive past home on the way to St. Moritz. Next up, Mickey Vogt, Andy Haas, Amadou Ndiaye, and Enrico Guntert. So in 18th place, disappointing weekend so far for Mickey Vogt. He was 14th after the first heat in the two-man, rose 8 places. He's going to have to do the same again. 5.17, little double tap, avoids a big skid. They started 5.18 in the first heat. So that was not wind affected because they're barely any quicker unless they had a headwind for both starts, and that's not impossible either. 2200s up. He was 100th ahead of Liechtenstein after first heat. And from this point on down, he started to lose speed in the first heat. Decent speed still, but the gap's down to 2/10. Krantz was fastest all the way down. Krantz in a customer sled. The Swiss sled not as quick. Holds his lead, 1500s, 54.95. Well, better than the 55.05 he had in the first heat. 1/10 of a second. Not going to take him a long way up the order, but he might pick up a few places, Mickey Vogt. I think he'll be glad to head to St. Moritz. St. Moritz next week will be his 50th four-man race. Sunday in the sunshine. Well, we hope in the sunshine. But quite a lot of snow is forecast for St. Moritz. If you happen to be going to Switzerland, the action begins on Wednesday, 9 a.m. The make-up men's skeleton race that we missed on Friday morning here. I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see that on TV, but the Olympiabob run security cameras will probably be showing it in 4K. Next up, Mihai Tentea of Romania, Constantin Dinescu, Mihai Pacianu, and Gheorghe Ordaș. Start draw number 1 for Mihai Tentea in his 31st World Cup in Heat 1. Finished a great 9th place yesterday in the two-man. 5.26 getaway, a whisker quicker than their first heat. And again, sneaked round the zero curve pretty tidily, just as he did in Heat 1. You do have to drive the sled a little, but it's better than risking a skid. 800s back at the start, only 1200s back as he comes out of 5. Building speed down to the Kreisel, 3rd best. 2nd place still, 1400s behind Mickey Vogt. Vogt might pick one off here. Straight past corner 10, 9 to 11. Nice transition, 13 to 14, and across the line, a 1/10 of a second back, 55.06. So another top 20 result. And what was his best here previously? A 12th place finish. He will be no worse than 18th. And his best result of the season so far, a 17th. He's had a 19th, a 17th, a 21st, and an 18th. Again, a few little bits and pieces that could have been tidier, but who isn't that true of? And Romanians making the most of what they have, as always. Going down the line of high and indeed low, and some very low fives as well, Mihai Tentia. Next up, Frank Del Duca with Josh Williamson, Boone Niederhofer and Brian Sassou behind him. Started 14th fastest in the first heat, came down 16th quickest. Nice tidy load this time, 5:17, and gets cleanly off the zero curve. Best velocity from the fastest start. Now Frank needs a good run here. 5th place yesterday in the two-man. A little bit frustrated that there's so much track sweeping going on before the Germans. But he has had a really good season in the four-man. He's always been there or thereabouts. In the two-man, rather. In the four-man, it's been different. He's just 100th up. This is going to be very close indeed with Mickey Vogt. Needs to try and keep himself in front. 200s, little rocky, 4th best speed, tied. I think he's going behind, not by much, by 100th.
Second place, 100.
So 54.99 compared to 54.95 of Mickey Vogt. They slipped 100 back. It is so close here. The snakes and the ladders are right next to each other. A better day in the four-man office than he's had. Little skid from 4 to 5, and as a result, rocking and rolling very late off 6 and into the Kreisel. And again, 13 and 14 coming off very late there. He's just trying to let it fly.
Thanks for the support back home, guys. Love you.
Really just trying to unlock the secret and get back to where he was. Mickey Vogt leads, 5 down, 15 to go. Race 5 of the IBSF four-man Bobsleigh World Cup in Winterberg, Germany. Martin Haven watching the action trackside with you as Sun Kai-chi and the team come to the line. Sun with Chang Yin, Shi Yao Long and An Tai, who was on the back of the two-man yesterday. They had a good day yesterday in the two-man. Finished in 7th place, one of his best two-man results. In the four-man, 2 13th places and an 11th already this season. He's been really good. 5:15 is a very good start. And nice and smooth so far. These first 3 corners, 4 corners, if you lose speed here, you never earn it back. You have to keep it. You can't afford mistakes here. They just bury you. Now, building up speed from 5, like everybody else. Late flop out of 6. Through the Kreisel. Little late off. And all these little flops taking energy out of the sled. That's going to reduce its acceleration. So slipping from 1st down to 3rd place. Going to drop a couple maybe. Vogt and Del Duca are only 100th apart. He's not going to be there, is he? 5th at the line. It is tight. So Sun Kai-chi down to 5th place. Martin Krantz rises 1. Mihai Tentia rises 1. Frank Del Duca rises 1. And Mickey Vogt stays in the leader's box. Disappointing second run for Sun. Again, no catastrophic errors, but 2 or 3 high. He controls it well. Knows how to get down here. So plenty of runs down this track over the years. Junior World Championship gold medalist here back in 2020, but no medals today. Dave Esselink of the Netherlands had a good fun run as well in the first heat. Steven Hausentveld, Jelen Francic and Tim Acosta behind him. 5:16, 10th best start for the Dutch. That's what they need. This is the closest track to the Netherlands, to the Low Countries. Colloquially, the area around Winterberg known as the Dutch Alps. Lots and lots of Dutch visitors in town, skiing the final weekend of the Christmas New Year holidays. And it is home ice, effectively, for the Dutch. 5:16, another strong start, the same as in the first heat. And he drove down well. From a 10th ahead of Vogt out to 1300s, 1400s. Best speed for Vesselink at the Kreisel. Little wavy maybe, came out nicely, tapped onto 8. Second best speed, still 1500s up. Martin Krantz of Liechtenstein, still the fastest sled down the ice, or higher speeds at any rate. And across the line, he does take the lead by a 10th of a second. That is the fastest run of the heat so far. Just 100th quicker than Mickey Vogt. But he has the lead with 13 sleds to go. So Vesselink outperforming his previous World Cup best of 17th on this track, 16th in the World Championships. He will be no worse than 14th now. And that is his second best result of the season, 10th in race 1 in Lillehammer. Little wavy through 9. We saw him get tapped away out of 8. And again, 13-14 transition.
Hallo iedereen thuis. Happy New Year.
Indeed. Good second heat as well for Dave Vesselink. And a 10th ahead of him was Latvia's Jēkabs Kalender. One of the biggest gaps in the top 20, actually. Anis Bebris, Larstar and Davis Kaufmanis. They had a very untidy first load. 5:16 to start, the same as the Dutch. But they do need to get in clean. This time it's much better, 5:15. It's not great though. Look, they're still wriggling around and the sled's sliding as a result. Two difficult loads for the Latvian crew. Very unusual to see one, never mind 2 consecutively. I'm sure they got in a lot cleaner in training. Flops out of 6, only the 5th best speed. He was 1100s ahead of Vesselink at the start. He's 200s back, and that will grow. 500s back, only the 5th best speed. Vesselink at the Netherlands was faster. Kalender is going to drop at least 1. Mickey Vogt's a 10th back. Frank Del Duca 1100s back. He could drop to 4th place. Second best speed, just takes the lead. Wow, found something down at the bottom. 600 slower than the Dutch sled, but had a 10th in hand, just survives. Well, that's hardly going to vault him up the order, but he will be no worse than 13th. And Kalender probably needed that after finishing 18th yesterday in the 2-man. Again, a really untidy load. They were still wriggling around halfway down to corner 1. They're still not even lined up in the sled. They'll be looking at this video going, okay, why are we not sitting even straight? You've got more helmets in the airflow. Lee Chun-jan, the better of the 2 Chinese sleds in the first heat, tied for 11th place with Kim Jin-soo of Korea. Chuang Mao-yan, Ye Ji-long and Ding Yun-da are his push athletes. And they had the 10th fastest start, another 5:16, same as the last 2 crews we've just seen. And their advantage over Kalender, the current leader, 300ths. 5:18, little slower, down to 100th, now tied, because of course Kalender started 5:15, now they creep in front. Little better velocity. And that's all of that wriggling around and the skids that the Latvians had. So they're 500s up, should be a 10th by the next clock, nearly there. 5th best speed, about the same as Kalender. And looks like a tidier run for Li Chunjan. Sun Kai-chi, his teammate, dropped a couple of spots on his run, but it looks as though he might just have enough to stay in front. The gap's back down from 7 to 400s. Best speed of all. Is it enough? Canada found something in the final corner. It's a dead heat. So the single finger from Janis Minins, their coach, means they're in the leaders box. They don't know that it's a tie. That's too many hand signals. Bobsled is a simple, guys. Is it 1 or 2 or whatever? Yeah, it's 1. Great. You hold your position. You know that you are not going to be dropping places. And if you're not going to drop places, especially on a track like this, then you might just pick a couple up as well. But they'll go into the leaders box alongside the Latvians. There is Lee, helmet off, high-fiving the fans. Great to have the audience right beside the finish area. And at the start as well. Still a few watching at the start. Almost everybody's migrated down the hill. 11th in the first heat off the 6th best start, Kim Jin-soo of Korea. In and down in a 5:09. Little double tap. He started 5:12 in the first heat. So that's another good getaway for the Koreans. Kim finished in a fine 6th place yesterday in the 2-man. And he's having another good run in the 4-man, but the lead is coming back down. He's got the best speed of all at the Kreisel. If he can build on that, he can accelerate away once more. He does add to it, out to 1900s. Kim Jin-soo pulling away from Li Chunjan and Jacobs Calendar. And he's going to have the lead at the line. He is in first place, 54.86. So 1700s up. Lee and Calendar will leave the leaders box and the Koreans will move in. A good season so far for Kim. Bronze in Cortina, 7th in Innsbruck, and then 6th in race 1 in Lillehammer, 14th in race 2. We're all allowed an off day. Little wavy 8 into 9, late out of 9, just avoids the tap, but has the skid through 10. As a result, late onto 11. Doesn't allow the sled to drop, holds it up. Good reactions from the driver. Controlled that well, and Kim Jin-soo leads, 10 down, 10 to go here in Winterberg. Race 5, IBSF Four-Man Bobsleigh World Cup in Winterberg in Germany. 10 down, 10 to go. Matti Behenek, after a great first heat for the Czech Republic, started 25th in the draw in no man's land. 20th fastest start. They came down 10th. Little quicker at the start and clean. Nice load and nice zero curve. 5:19. Okay, here we go. Well, they only had 100th in hand over the Koreans, so they're 900s back from the start. That goes out to a 10th only, and that means already Behenek is out-driving the Koreans. 6th best speed. Oh, the Koreans were fastest here, so the sled or the runners may not be quite right for the track. 7th best speed. He's losing more ground. Li Chunjan and Jacobs Calendar, 1700s back in second. This could drop very quickly from second to 4th. 9th best speed. Is he going to be second or 4th? It is second by 300ths of a second. So Behenek from 25th in the draw, worrying whether they'd get a second heat. Their teammates did not, but they will be no worse than 11th, and that might be a massive result in terms of being allowed to go to the games. Not only does the IBSF have rules about where your points are, how many nations get 3 sleds, how many get 2, how many get 1, but each individual National Olympic Committee tends to have performance targets that you must meet to be allowed to take up those spots. And that has all the hallmarks of we have done it. That could be a team on their way to the games. All right, Taylor Austin, Mike Evelyn, Keaton Bruggeling, and Shaq Murray-Lawrence for Canada. 9th place after the first heat. A bronze yesterday in mono for Cynthia Appiah. Last Canadian 4-man medal on this track. Might have to come back to you for that. Oh, Justin Cripps with Ryan Summer, Ben Coatwell and Cam Stones in the 2020-21 season. They took silver. Cripps, of course, then went on to bronze in the 4-man in the Beijing Games. 5:16. You just saw Cripps at the start watching the crew away from the block. .500's back. Such a tight race. They only had 100th over Kim of Korea from, 400, 200s over Kim of Korea from the first heat. Out to 700's back. Still in second place. Mati Behunek of the Czech Republic is 1400's back. This is going to be very tight indeed. Not sure if he's got enough speed. He did, 54.83. And so far this week, and I'm just putting it out there, no victory rolls off the final corner. What's going on? Is that just too 20th century? I'm not sure. Well, the Canadians are happy with that, and so they should be. They grab the lead at the end. That is a 9th place finish for Taylor Austin and the boys. 7th in the second race in Lillehammer, their best of the season. Their best here 3 years ago was 9th. They were 12th in the world, 16th last year, and now they're back. 9th place, they lead with 8 to go. No worse than 9th, and they might still pick something up because Patrick Baumgartner and his crew were only 100th in front of them. Eric Fantazzini, Rob Messea, and Lorenzo Bellotti are the crew. Baumgartner missed the cut yesterday, tied for 22nd place with his teammate Mattia Variola. Best result here, a 4th place finish. That was last year. It's going to have to be the run of runs to do that, but 5:14, decent getaway. Decent 0 and 1. Clean out of 2. No tap out of 3. No skid out of 4. Nice clean run so far. From 400s up to 700s up. Little bump going onto the Kreisel. Little flop coming off. Some of that speed going away as he had to correct the steer through the Kreisel. Again through corner 9. Gaps coming down. Just 600s, just 500s. And don't forget, the Canadians found something in the final corner across the line. 500s up, 54.79. So the Canadians leave the leader's box. And the Italians will move in. Rob Messea leaping out, full of it. Decent run from Patrick Baumgartner. A little hard hit there on the take on to 6 and a flop off it. Just got too much of it, just a little too far to his left. And that cost him speed in the Kreisel. Got to high-five the kids. That's the future of the sport. Next up, Chris Horn, 4th place in yesterday's 4-man competition. See Peter Fisher telling the officials to get out of the track, stop delaying the race. Brushing the track is all well and good. Don't overplay your part. So Chris Horn with Carsten Vissering, who was on the 2-man yesterday. Hunter Powell at 3, Caleb Furnell at the back in the middle. He's the man on the brakes. Fastest start in the competition, 5:06. A 10th off the track record in the wind. 5:09 the second heat, and clean off 0. He doesn't get the pinball that he did in the first heat, and that's going to help the velocity. Pretty inexperienced on this track, Chris Horn. Raced once here in the World Cup before as a brakeman. Got a medal for the USA. They were 3rd place with Cody Basque. 900s up. They were 1100s up at the start. Still 900s, still 900s. Good run from Chris Horn. He was just a whisker away from the top 6. 500s rocking and rolling through 13:14. Is it enough at the line? No. They slip back by 200ths of a second. It is still a strong top 10 run. They'll be no worse than 8th place. Chris Horn really coming of age this season, having a good time on this track. Yesterday, 4th place in the 4-man is going to give him so much inspiration for the rest of the season. 7th, 8th, 15th and 6th is 4-man races this year, and this will be no worse than 8th place. Dennis Marino could not believe it, nor could Brian Scheimer. So into the top 6, Cedric Follador for Switzerland. The top Swiss sled, Omar Fergler, Luca Rolli, who was on the 2-man with him yesterday, and Tim Annan. 1100s out of the medals. 5:19 and an excellent 0 curve, just a whisker quicker than their first start. And again, every 100th at the start helps you all the way down the track. Little nudge out of 2. Quiet through 3. Straight down to 5 from corner 4. Got to build speed here, nicely onto 6. That's a smooth transition. Little tap before the Kreisel. Good speed. Within a couple of hundredths of the lead now, from 200s back to 200s up. Still the best speed for Follador. He's flying. Mickey Vogt wasn't. 500s up for Follador. Best speed of all for Cedric Follador, over 85 miles an hour, and a 54.83. They take the lead. 400s up from the first heat, 600s up after 2. A 54.83, same as Taylor Austin of Canada. Joint fastest run of the competition so far. Really good stuff from the Swiss crew. They dig in, they loaded beautifully, and Follador just a couple of tiny arrows. Look, he touched the wall on the right-hand side in 10. Properly skated through there. Follador leads, 5 to go. What's going to happen now? Well, next up is Marcus Treichel. 5:10 at the start with Sasha Stepan, Opper, Marcus Sommer, Sammer and Leo Sares there in the center. Sammer on the left of your picture. 5:10, great starting from this group. Again, the margins are so tiny. 5:08, almost doubles their first heat lead. They were 300s up, and now they are 1400s up. They started 1100s quicker than Cedric Follador's crew, and that has grown. It's doubled to 2300s up. But they're losing speed, only the 7th best, a late flop off 6. Marcus doing too much to keep the line. He's got to let the sled fly now. 8th best speed, the gap is coming right down. It'll be in single digits. 800s. 10th best speed. Is it enough? It's going to be very close to the 100th. 400s in front. Fastest run of the second heat so far for Marcus Treichel as he takes the lead, guarantees himself a top 5 finish. Well, whatever the Austrian criterion are for qualifying for the games, I think he's locked those out. That's his 3rd top 5 of the season, never mind anything else. His 4th top 10. Just that one loose 14th place in race 1 in Lillehammer. What a good season the Austrian is having, fully rehabbed after that cruciate ligament tear in the middle of last season when he was absolutely on a rip. And so we get to the first German with 4 sleds to go. Austria lead, Adam Amor, Joshua Tascher, Alexander Schaller. Adam Amor and Alex Schaller took the silver medal yesterday. 5:04 getaway. That's a phenomenal start. 5:13 first heat. That must have been wind affected. Astonishing speed at the start and a really clean run so far as well. From a 10th up to 1300s up. He was only 200s behind Brad Hall in the bronze medal position after the first heat. He does not want to be beaten for the medals here. Nearly 2 tenths up now. Second best speed to Cedric Follador. Best speed of all. Here we go. The FES 4-man is flying. And Amor is driving beautifully. A great run. Even 13:14 didn't look bad. And across the line by, wow, 3600ths of a second. Somebody just said 0-4. What a start. I mean, made everybody else look pedestrian, no matter how quick the starts were. 5:04. And a great run. All right, late off 6 and into the Kreisel, but you barely noticed. And again, 13:14. One of the least worst transitions. Adam Amor in the leader's box, 3 to go. So pressure on Brad Hall, last year's winner. This year with Leon Greenwood, Taylor Lawrence back in the sled at 3, and Greg Cackett in the center at 4. 200ths of a second their advantage. They started 5:11. They outstarted Amor and his crew in the first heat. Amor and his crew have just gone 5:04. The Brits are in and down. It's a 5:13. They go the other way. So their 200ths of a second advantage is now nearly a 10th of a second deficit. 700ths back as they load. That'll be 15. It's not. It's only a 10th of a second. Brad Hall really drove well in the first heat. He needs to do exactly the same again. Maybe a little skid off 4. Nice through 5. Not bad at all. 6 to 7 into the Kreisel. Third best speed. Don't forget, Amor was fastest down here, fastest out of the Kreisel, so the gap grows. Amor leads. Oh, big wobble there out of 9 for Brad Hall. In second place, but 1500ths back. Is this a medal slipping through his fingers? It might just be. 54.73. And Amor and the crew are back in the medals. Looking for a podium sweep for the Germans. Didn't happen last year. Brad Hall took the gold with Taylor Lawrence, Aaron Gulliver and Greg Cackett. They lie in second with 2 to go. High and late out of 9, had to really drive it off there. And that could have been the difference. A tidier exit from 9, could have been a fraction more speed. Might not have brought that 1900ths they needed. But it's still doing no worse than 4th place for Brad Hall. Now then, hunting for his 100th World Cup medal, Johannes Lochner, with Oliver Peschke, Jörn Wenzel, and 2-man winner with him yesterday, Gerd Fleischauer. Tweaked his back yesterday in the second start. Hansi had to have some physio over the evening. 5:09, another great start. They started 5:10 in the first heat, but they are in the red. They didn't start as quickly as Amor's crew. They had barely any advantage. They're still level. Now it is just the driver. .300s in the green. Second best speed. Follador was quickest. Amor fastest. Now it's Lochner who's quicker by 0.2 of a mile an hour. 200s, I beg your pardon. Lochner with the tiniest margin. Any error now will give it away. But he looks like he's got enough to take the lead from Adam Amor, and he does by 400s. So Adam Amor's run was 100th quicker. Hansi was 500s ahead of him. Finishes 400s in front. 1 to go. Johannes Lochner guarantees himself his 100th World Cup medal. Is he going to take another silver? That would be his 5th on this track. 1 to go. Francesco Friedrich, his 100th 4-man World Cup race. 66 medals up until now, 36 wins, 9 of them here. Going for the 10th 4-man victory in Winterberg and chasing the start record as well. What do they get? 5:06, not quite as quick as Amor's crew. But if they take the gold, they'll kind of overlook that. 1200s up. Little tap out of 2. On to 5, building speed now. Little late off 6. Decent run into the Kreisel for Francesco Friedrich. 3rd best speed. The gap's coming down to 700s. To 400s. This is going to be very close indeed. It will be a German podium. It will be a German winner. But will it be Lochner or will it be Friedrich? 200ths of a second in it. Who's going to take gold? It's Friedrich by 200ths of a second. He wins his 100th World Cup 4-man race. It is his 67th World Cup medal in the 4-man, his 37th win, and his 10th win here in Winterberg in World Cup and World Championship races. His first came back in 2015-16 with Martin Putzer, Janis Becker, and Torsten Margis. Max Arndt was second, Nico Walter was third on that day. And today, Johannes Lochner and Adam Amor finish on the podium with him. His last win on this track in the 2024 World Championships, he took gold. That was win number 9. This is win number 10. A fitting way for the 100th 4-man race for this bobsledding legend. The man from Pirna in Saxony led after the first heat, and he kept us guessing all the way down. It wasn't the fastest of the second runs. It wasn't the tidiest of the second runs. It was enough. Just enough, but just enough is enough. And as he knows from his first Olympic gold medal, a dead heat for gold, it's still gold. Francesco Friedrich, Johannes Lochner and Adam Amor. Ahead of Brad Hall, Marcus Treichel and Cedric Follador. Great day for Cedric Follador. Baumgartner, Horn, Taylor Austin. Big result and a good one for Kim Jin-soo of Korea as well. Well, Brad might have slipped off the podium, but he's got his four-man mojo working again. Matej Behunek of the Czech Republic. One day I'll pronounce it right. Good for him. 14th for Dave Wesseling in the Netherlands. Great result for him as well. Martin Krantz picked up a spot or two on his final run for Liechtenstein. And that is it. That does it for Winterberg, for what has been a very wintry weekend. No rainy berg this week. Next week we will be in even deeper winter in St. in Switzerland, the only natural track on the planet, when we head for the European Championships as well. We will see you then Friday, Saturday and Sunday for the penultimate World Cup race of the season. Lochner still leads the overall standings by 25 points from Friedrich, 3 wins to 2. Adam Amor in third from Baumgartner, Hall and Treichel, with Kim Jin-soo, Mickey Vogt, Chris Horn and Cedric Follador all playing starring roles this season in the four-man competition. And some really good drives today from lower down in the field. Some excellent performances, a thrilling race to round out an exciting weekend here in Winterberg, and not a drop of rain. All right, we dug the cars out of the snow a lot, but better snow than rain. Nice stuff. We will see you then next week. Don't forget, Skeleton, the men's race from here, will happen on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. CET, 8 GMT. We will not have TV coverage. The trucks won't be set up by then, but we will be back on Friday morning for the Skeleton, Saturday for the Mono and the Women's Bob, and Sunday for the women and the two-man, the Women's Bob and the four-man in St. Moritz. Until then, from me, Martin Haven, and the whole IBSF TV crew here, it's Auf Wiedersehen and goodbye to Winterberg.